Okay, so welcome back to another ARK 2 video. Today we're going to be talking about some very interesting stuff to ARK 2's development process, the sort of release date, the new Xbox deal to buy Activision Blizzard and how this can affect ARK 2, and also about ARK 2 on the PlayStation. I really wanted to cover ARK 2 on the PlayStation in today's video because I see this comment on my video pretty much every time when it's to do with ARK 2, and I just thought we needed to talk about it in today's video. Now, if you do get all the news you need to know, smash that like button. You guys have been smashing 1,000 likes on every video, and it just means so much to me. So if we can do that again today, it really supports the channel. And make sure to be subscribed if you don't want to miss out on all of your ARK 2 information building up to the hopeful release of it this year in 2022. So let's get on with the video. What I just wanted to say is I do find some interesting articles about ARK 2 online to read to you guys. So I'll be leaving this one at the top of the description, as I always do, if you ever want to check it out later on in the future. So let's get through into some things. So ARK 2's announcement surprised us all at the Game Awards in 2020, but where is it currently in the development process? So obviously, you know, that surprised the world, I think. I have been like calling that ARK 2 is going to be coming out since like 2018. I remember literally 2018 summertime, I made a video saying ARK 2 is going to be coming, and that was like in some developer interviews. So to think that 2 years later, we literally got the announcement right at the end of 2020, it shocked a lot of us, but for a good reason, I think, in the end. The last thing I expected, for ARK was it to become the next big thing, which I didn't. I feel like ARK has had potential to become the next big thing for a long time. I really do. Like, I feel like the first game's been so successful that if they hit everything right with ARK 2 and make it a less buggy game, obviously better graphics, more additions to the game, it could and more game modes, it could generally be, one of the best games there ever has been. I mean, who doesn't like dinosaurs? Especially with top talent like Vin Diesel jumping on board. We still don't know a whole lot about ARK 2, but we know more than most games that don't even have a release window yet. At first, I didn't think that there was going to be a real story. Then I dived into the DLC cutscenes of the previous title and discovered Vin Diesel does appear at the very end, and we think we're in for a wild ride for ARK 2. So yeah, obviously, if you guys did complete Genesis Part 2, I'm not going to be at the point of saying no spoilers anymore because it has been literally 7 or 8 months, but I'm really sorry. If you don't want any spoilers right now, I recommend like skipping this part of the video. But obviously, you know, when you complete Genesis Part 2 from the Ascension, Vin Diesel does fall out of a pod and stares at the future arcs in the distance, which is obviously going to be, as you know, Genesis Part 2 was the final paid DLC to end the story of ARK 1. So this was obviously kickstarting ARK 2. So it was going to be very interesting. Because this game is going to be mainly primitive, it's very interesting about how it's going to go back to being primitive without the tech. So I know obviously, you know, you did the final boss battle against Rockwell. But it's interesting to see again. I know, and like the HLNA got exploded, so I suppose that's kind of the idea that now it's back to primitive days and they're into a new world. I don't know, something like that. But it's unclear if there's an overarching story to be had in ARK 2. It could be that Vin Diesel plays an NPC in the open world, or he might be a playable character. Most likely for me, he's just going to be an NPC in the open world. I really do not believe he's going to be a playable character unless there's a version of single player where you get to play as him. But to be honest, I just don't think ARK 2 is going to be that type of game. So many people have said, I really hope we're not all Vin Diesels, and that's just not going to happen, guys. Like, Wildcard have already mentioned that this game is the exact same multiplayer sandbox as before, so that's never going to change. But I do feel like there are going to be NPCs in ARK 2, which is why I think it's going to be even better, because I've wanted ARK NPCs in the first game for ages. But so I think it's not just going to be Vin Diesel as an NPC in the game. I don't think he's going to be around all the time, but I do think it'll be possible to bump into him within this new game. In the first game, you simply create a goofy looking player character regardless of the narrative. It looks like there are this is what he's mentioned in the new game. There are, these new sort of NPC like monster humans that are like going to be in the world of ARK 2, and they obviously didn't have that in the first game. If ARK 2 is going to stand out from the first game and establish itself as a AAA title, a fully fleshed out narrative with one of the most popular actors would certainly do the trick. It's definitely not the move I was expecting from the small dinosaur game that launched in early access back on the Xbox. Now that, I have to call him out there. It wasn't, this says it that launched in early access on Xbox back in 2017. It actually launched in early access on Xbox at the end of December 2015. It was early 2016 where it actually released, from what I remember, on PC for the first time in early access summer 2015. Came to Xbox early, like literally the beginning of right at the end of 2015 into 2016, and in 2017 it came out around about for PlayStation that time, and the official full game was released in 2017. So I just thought I'd have to add that in. I'm a little bit of an ARK nerd. If you guys don't know, I have been doing this on my YouTube channel for years. But anyway, at the very end of ARK Survival Evolved, we see Vin Diesel's character leaving his pod and landing on a new world, which is presumably where ARK 2 takes place. But that's all we know so far. ARK 2 release date. Unfortunately, ARK 2 does not have a complete release date just yet. However, we do know it's coming sometime in 2022, so you don't have to wait too long. In the first trailer, revealed at the Game Awards shown in 2020, we learned that ARK 2 would be an Xbox Series X console launch exclusive. So we still have, we've known that for a long time, and we've known that it's just going to be coming to PC and Xbox, which will involve Steam, but we've known that it won't be coming to PlayStation. But right at the very start, when ARK 1 was first released, it was kickstarted anyway just on Xbox. Before it started in the Xbox game preview, and it was there just for a long time. And obviously, I don't think, as I mentioned, that ARK actually came to PlayStation until like January 2017 or maybe December 2016. So it was a whole year and a bit later on until PlayStation actually managed to get the game. It is actually crazy to think how much longer, because ARK on PlayStation had a release date for so long. It might have even been a bit longer than it came on PlayStation. But obviously, recently you would have seen Xbox bought Activision Blizzard. This is crazy. Xbox has announced a deal to buy Activision Blizzard, the company behind Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and many other major gaming franchises, obviously costing them $68.7 billion. Announced on Xbox Wire, the deal means that Xbox will soon own the likes of Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and much more. CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer, announced that all Activision Blizzard companies would report to him after the deal is closed. No timescale has been given for how long the deal will take to close, and it's likely that the deal will be examined as to whether it creates a monopoly before it's formed. Spencer confirmed that Activision Blizzard will continue to run as an independent company until the deal is complete. Update in an email sent to Blizzard employees says that the company expects the deal to close sometime in 2023. So one thing that a lot of people have been talking about, and why I brought this up to you guys, is talking about the PlayStation release. So obviously with Xbox taking a huge step here and it being an exclusive, Microsoft by the looks of things, it's not like it's going to be the dream life that we all expected, where PlayStation and Xbox are going to come together. I know there's been some crossplay that's happened, but we were all hoping that there was going to be a world where we weren't going to have to be like, oh, PlayStation's better, Xbox is better, we've got this on PlayStation or we've got this on Xbox. We were hoping that wasn't going to be a thing. So right now, we're in this 50-50 scale with the PlayStation release. Before this happened with Xbox buying Activision Blizzard, I know Wildcard doesn't actually, they have nothing to do with Blizzard. But one thing that this has made me think is that if Xbox are trying this hard to build their brand and keep things away from Sony, it now looks to me that if they were in control and having ARK 2 as an exclusive, this is a big sign that PlayStation may never actually get their hands on ARK 2. Now, I could be completely wrong here, as ARK 1 did come out on Xbox first, and then, as you can see, December 2016, it came out on PlayStation on the PS4. So I wouldn't rule out a chance for this coming to the PlayStation later on the year. But all I'm going to be mentioning to you guys right now is that if you are a PlayStation player wanting to play ARK 2, your best bet is getting yourself a PC or getting yourself an Xbox console. And I know it's unfortunate, but it's the way that companies work at the moment. They're competing against each other, and unfortunately we just don't have the ideal world that we all want, where games are not exclusive on other consoles. Don't you worry, guys. I mean, I have a PlayStation. I don't have a PS5 currently. I have the Series X. I've always sort of played Xbox. I bought a PlayStation because I wanted to play Spider-Man. So I've felt the pain of not being able to really. I managed to play a lot of God of War. You know, when I got my PlayStation, quite a few years back. So I felt the pain of being younger and not being able to play certain games because I can't afford or get myself a PlayStation. So I've just had to rely on the stuff that comes out on Xbox. So I get that 100%. It's just, you know, all I'm going to say to you guys is just expect that ARK 2 could be a very long time to see it on PlayStation, if ever a release. Now, one thing before I do end this video that I do want to mention is that you never know, ARK 2, as they're not being signed by Microsoft, currently they're not purchased by them, which is something I hope that doesn't happen in the future. Well, I don't know whether it would be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think it would be a good thing. Then you never know, this deal may end, which means after this deal with Xbox, it being exclusive, Wildcard may have to that sort of window open as an opportunity to talk to Sony to release ARK 2 there. So don't ever say no. Okay, that's the main thing I'm going to say. I'm kind of rambling on too much at the moment, but I just wanted to give you guys, especially on PlayStation, my honest thoughts and information that I have seen. But anyway, that is going to be the end of the ARK 2 video. As mentioned in plenty of videos, I am going to be keeping you up to date with every single bit of ARK 2 information that comes across online or comes across from the devs, anything like that, just to keep you up to date. Thank you for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and thank you. See you in my next video.